Bibisara is walking to the third round of the FIDE Women's Candidates 2026. It's a beautiful hotel, beautiful pathway there. The players, really love the private time over here while they walk in the nice scenery. There you see, she gives a smile that just goes on to say how calm she would be feeling. And Zhu Jiner also entering from the other side of the hotel. There are two entrances there, and we do not see their trainers. They both have been, coming alone here, and yes, they have been around 20 to 23 years of age and have been in the same competition there. Last time they played against each other was in Qatar, where it was the World Blitz Championship where Bibisara beat Zhu Jiner in both the games, and she has been the World Blitz champion for 3 times. Now that's a big feat over there. She's known for her incredible speed chess skills. And Zhu Jiner, who has been super sharp in this tournament, the first 2 rounds she played crazy. In fact, she was winning in both the games, but it was a bit hard luck. The handshake over there, and over here, Zhu Jiner, can she still play a sharp game? Can she manage to, get her first victory? It's her first candidates, in fact, and she qualified through the women's Grand Prix. That's how she qualified here. C5 on the board, knight f3. We have now, what is Bibisara going to do here? Is she going to develop her knight to c6 or e6? Yes, she goes knight c6. Normally, open Sicilian is something which we are not often seeing at a top level. And there you go, bishop b5. Rosolimo on the board, avoiding all the main lines of the open Sicilian. d6 played by Bibisara. And this is a very standard way to play now against the Sicilian. Short castle played. Zhu Jiner became a grandmaster in 2023 and Bibisara in 2025. So they both are grandmasters, and the rivalry is developing over here. Rook e1 played, and here you have this center control. Eventually you want to go d4. Knight f6 has been developed. Candidates tournaments, it's all about who is going to out prepare each other, what are the novelties they are bringing on the board. And after h3, Bibisara goes a6, kicks the bishop away. The bishop has to go back to f1 here. That's the main line, and both of them having 1 hour 32 minutes on the clock. And Bibisara here, ooh, rook g8. What a move. A novelty there? No, not yet. It has been played earlier by Northerbeg and a few others, but Zhu Jiner had to use 7-8 minutes to play the next move, d3, h6. This is super exciting. What is the idea of this move, rook g8? b4 played, trying to deflect the c5 pawn so that you try to gain the control of the center, telling black that, array, what is this move, rook g8? So c takes b4. Yes, you've given up one pawn, but in return you want to get the center control. And black's idea is to go g5, g4. That's the whole idea of the move rook g8. a3, again trying to deflect this pawn so that you get the c3 square in the future. You're not worried about the pawn. So b3 played by Bibisara says, bas ho gaya material, I don't want it more. The knight develops to d2. White is looking at development now and not taking more material here. So knight bd2, and with Bibisara goes with g5, doesn't care about exchanging this, no time waste. She wants to very quickly go for the attack with g4. That was the whole idea. d4 played by Zhu Jiner. She says now the time has come to control the center over here, and your knights will be kicked away very soon. So Bibisara goes for g4, continues with her plan of rook g8, gives justice to that rook. The knight is attacked and pawn is also attacked. You can see the bishop. She has to take the pawn. H takes g4. The d7 bishop over here is going to be capturing the pawn and also pinning the knight very soon. that's what she goes for. Bishop takes g4, and white needs to complete the development, take that advantage. She has sacrificed a pawn, so in return you need some compensation, and that's what is happening. The king is in the center, but kind of unbreakable as of now. d5, a big mistake. Bibisara should have taken the pawn over here, taken it off, and then d5 was a very good idea. So the intent was absolutely right. But over here, Zhu Jiner has a nice move. Does she find it? Yes, she does. c4, challenging this pawn and saying that yes, I'm still going to keep the control of the center. And because of that, b takes c2 was a very important move to play before. So Bibisara right now realizes she's in trouble. Whichever pawn she takes, she does not have the control of the center anymore. The knight cannot jump to d5 anymore. Looking at f4 and g2. So the knight takes c4, and the minor piece is getting exchanged over here. Knight takes c4 played on the board. White is super happy with these pawns over here. Captures the knight back with rook takes c4. Also, you're not worried about this pawn right now. The bishop goes back, attacks the rook over here. The rook comes back to e3 and looks at b3, but the bishop now very nicely sits solidly, attacks the queen, and she goes queen c1. Now this was not a very good move. Maybe queen d2 was a good idea, developing, trying to get the rook into the game with rook a e1. She don't know why she did not go for it. Queen c1 was played here, rook c8 played, and looking at c4 somewhere, threatening knight a5 in the future. d5 is played. The knight is attacked. The bishop is opened up. You have to be careful for these ideas. Knight is attacked, and Bibisara here thinking what to do with 36 minutes on the clock, 20 moves played. She goes knight a5. The knight and the rook both looking at c4, whereas white has only one defender. So the knight goes back to d2 and defends here. And for black, this bishop on h6 would be a nice idea with h5 in the future, but she goes rook g4. Yeah, it's also a nice move looking at c4, and in fact, black can threaten giving some exchange sacrifice. It will not be a bad idea already having a pawn. Bishop e5, a mistake there. Bishop f6 was an important move, though not so easy to understand why bishop e5 was played. The problem with this move is now Bibisara has a classy move. Many times you want to stop the opponent's threat, and bishop f6 was that kind of a move, but now h5 has been played. The bishop wants to develop on this beautiful diagonal with bishop h6, attacking this rook, pinning this knight, looking at the queen. So she goes queen b2, gets out of that diagonal. But already black is harmonizing the pieces over here, goes bishop h6, and where can the rook go? Actually, there's a problem. The rook cannot go anywhere if it goes here. Bishop d3 and the knight is lost. So rook a1, she has to give some material back. Bishop takes e3, rook takes e3, and white is an exchange down. Oh, but look at this. Bibisara decides to give back the exchange with knight takes c4 and says that, okay, this is forced for you to capture. I'm okay to give the exchange and land up in an opposite colored bishop with two extra pawns. Which means a lot over here because your bishop is active. Your rook is going to look at this g2 guy. So d6 played by, very sorry here for the advanced move. Rook takes c4 just happening on the board right now, and Zhu Jiner is thinking d6. That's what she goes, looking at this king over here, and does look very, very tempting everything. But a simple move like e6, and black has solved the problems. Bishop f6 is not a problem because of takes. So she goes bishop h2, and that's a blunder because you are keeping your king in back rank trouble. It doesn't help you. So bishop h2, not a good idea at all, because now black can continue with the plans. And what is the plan? To bring your piece, which is not super active, into the game. That's the plan. But white constantly will be worrying about the back rank. So queen g5 played over here. White would have loved to go enter the back rank, but it's not possible because eventually there were disco attacks with mate threat. So bishop e5, she moves away the bishop from here, and Bibisara has right now beautiful queen looking at g2. She only has to increase more pressure over here, and there are many ways to do it. Bishop e4, threatening a checkmate in one move. 3 minutes to Zhu Jiner, 10 moves to make. She goes f4, a mistake again over here. Now there's a classy move. Can Bibisara find it? A very, very forcing way to continue. Black to play. Oh, she finds it. Rook c1 check there. She is deflecting the queen because there is a mate threat. So king h2 is forced here. And now queen h4 check again with 8 minutes on the clock. Forced to go rook h3, otherwise it's a mate. And now beautiful move, rook h1 check, deflecting the king from the defense of h3, landing him in the pin. Queen takes h3 check, 34th move, and king g1, but already the position is very, very simplified. Black is clearly winning here. Queen e3 check. It's the opposite colored bishop where your bishop is stronger, you're materially 2 pawns up, and white doesn't have any counterplay. Even simply exchanging the queens is working for black because there is one passer here, you can create another passer, and black has nothing to attack. h4, g4 played by Zhu Jiner over here. Yeah, you don't have to even take here. She goes b5. In a way, she's asking that, okay, maybe you are getting into a zugzwang. You have nothing much to do here after king g1. I'm just simply planning to get my king. What is your idea? That's the question black is raising. These 2 pawns are distant. One bishop has to take care of one pawn. The king has to take care of one pawn. Whereas for black, the king is going to be free. Even if you think that this bishop is defending the h3 pawn, the king is soon going to come. So king g3 played with 40 moves are completed over here, but the position is completely clarified that black is 2 pawns up and winning here. So king h2 played, and she goes king d7. Once the bishop moves, you lose the pawn, and that's what white does not have too many moves, and these pawns are getting ahead. So king g3, and now a4 played with the threat of b4 deflecting, and you are coming in with your pawns, and this is all over here. Resignation by Zhu Jiner. What a game, what a brilliant game. Actually, Zhu Jiner, who has had a fantastic tournament. It's a very, very sad loss for her, but for Bibisara, this was an important victory. Actually, both of them having a debut in their candidates tournament and doing amazingly well. Wow, what a fantastic game and a fantastic novelty we got to see by Bibisara with the move rook g8, which was played on move number, let me just show you that move number 7th position. This was the move which kind of helped your victory. There you go, very nice moment. Bibisara and Madamina was there, Sindaro was here. Wow, that's the handshake, the fist bump. And exit very peacefully.
Welcome to round 3 of the FIDE Candidates from St. George, Cap St. George's Hotel and Resort. I am joined by Grandmaster Bibisara Assaubayeva. The result is 0-1 in her favor. How do you feel? Such a big win.
Yeah, I feel good because I win with black. It's always pleasant, and also I place very risky opening. So yeah, I'm happy with my result.
The risk paid off, and the opening was such a roller coaster. How did you deal with that emotion in the early stages of the game, where all three results were bouncing back and forth?
Yeah, I think it's a long tournament, and sometimes you need to take a risk. And also, I think it was interesting in the idea with Rook G8 and G5 at the opening.
Let's get to that moment.
Yeah.
So we have this Rossolimo, in which D6 is already a rare line.
Yes.
So you were fully in your preparation when you played this.
Yes.
And here we have this Rook G8, which is
Yeah.
very rare, and we had seen that Grandmaster Nordirbek Abdusatorov had played it only a few times, but still very, very fresh.
Oh, I didn't know about it, but yeah, it's a fresh idea. Of course, white can play d4. It's one of the best moves, I think. But her move I also saw a little bit, like d3, h6, and b4. It's very, I think, practical, good idea. C takes b4, a3, b3. And here I didn't know move knight bd2, but it was interesting.
Yeah, tell me about this moment. I mean, for the audience at home that has no experience in chess, I mean, I take one pawn, you're offering me the second pawn. Why can't I win back the pawn I gave you?
Okay, I didn't take a pawn to not open the A and B file for white, and also I want to play on the king side, so I need to close as much more line as I can. Yeah, that's the reason. Knight bd2. G5.
So if ever she takes, sorry.
I don't want to take there because for white I think it will be easy play, like bishop b2, d4, somewhere e5 or d5, and I just want to continue my plan. Maybe that was a bad idea.
Oh yeah, it was the best move. Okay. So you play this very energetic g5, which I guess is the idea of rook g8, supporting this pawn and opening up the g file.
Otherwise rook g8 and h6 feels stupid.
Exactly. So nice support, and so d4 here, and now you play g4, opening up the g line. Bishop takes.
Also, I'm thinking about take on g4 by knight, but I'm not sure was it a good. Yeah, it's lucky. Yeah.
I mean, maybe both are. Yeah, both are same
similar.
Eval.
Yeah. Here I don't like c3 move actually because she wants to play queen b3 and she have very good center. It will be hard for me how to play then. But also she played interesting move bishop b2. And here I think, yes, I spent
23 minutes.
Yes, I spent a lot, and as much as I think, I stopped liking my position at all because I don't know how to play. I don't want to take on c2, but I think it's possible. Take, and maybe rook c8, queen b3. But white have initiative, and I don't want to just defending. And I feel that d5 should be bad move, but I also think that it can be interesting. Yeah, so I don't know. I also thinking about e5, but after e5 I don't like just c3 or
c3 here.
Yes, and yeah.
Okay,
so after d5 I thought that, and I think my opponent also thought that c4 is the best move. That's why I didn't play here d5 immediately. Yeah. c4, d takes c4, knight takes. I think there is a forcing line.
So takes?
Take, bishop f5. It's my only idea to continue the game, or I can resign. Rook e3, bishop c2. Here I think queen d2 was good, but queen c1 also was good. Because after queen d2, I think she didn't like bishop g7, and she can't play d5 immediately. Yes,
so
that's why she played queen c1, and she want to play d5, and my knight don't have any normal square to move.
Right. But the major drawback of queen c1 is?
Yes, but queen d2 have the plus that she can put rook on e8. E1, yes. And
like
queen
this.
C1 maybe wasn't the best move, but during the game it looks interesting, and I think rook C8 was a very good move from myself. And here she's thinking a lot, and I don't like her move d5 because I want to put my knight on a5 anyway. And maybe better was instead of bishop c3, instead of d5, I don't like bishop c3, and then put queen on b2 and rook on e8. I think it's a very initiative position for white.
Right.
Yeah, I played, and she played d5. After d5, I start liking my position because here I want to take on c4. And after knight d2, she wants to play knight e4, but I have, I think, good move rook g4. And they want to sacrifice a rook.
Beautiful geometry.
Yes. And here I think she started playing bad. But it's hard to recommend something for white because it's very difficult position for both sides. And after bishop e5, maybe she thought that I will take on c4 immediately, but I have also good move h5, and I want to put my bishop on h6. During the game, it feels very strange to play like this because I didn't develop my pieces, and I just play rook g4, h5, and feel okay. But here I think I have big advantage because I don't know how she can defend from bishop h4.
And also her pieces are quite tangled.
Yes, and after queen b2, I take the rook after rook e1, bishop e3, and sacrifice the rook back, but I have two pawn more. Yeah, and d6, e6, bishop g3, bishop h2, yes, queen g5. And
but this is actually a critical moment. So
really, I thought this is lost position. For her.
So white has a fantastic resource here after bishop g3. What were you going to play after bishop g3?
I thought about h4.
Yeah, so here white has a spectacular resource. If you want to try to guess, I know you're already probably exhausted.
White is winning or
no? White has a resource to draw. Yeah.
I calculate some queen h8, but I think it was losing. Maybe something like rook f3.
Exactly.
Rook f3.
Rook f3.
Oh, it was.
Sorry.
It was hard to find without.
Very hard. I mean, this it's just completely counterintuitive, but.
Yeah, bishop g3, h4, rook f3. It's like, yeah.
Incredible. And if takes, there's some.
Queen h8, king d7, rook f7, king c8, rook f8.
And then takes.
Yeah, and king f.
If king f1, there's bishop d3.
Bishop d3, queen f2, rook f4. It's like
yes.
How to play.
And this gives a completely crazy win for black.
Ah, no.
So here you have to play. So this, and here takes. Oh wait.
No. Here d7. Oh.
Because here this loses.
And should be something like d7, king c7, queen e5. Wow, amazing.
Incredible, right?
It's amazing. And it's interesting because after king b6, queen e6, rook c6.
You have to go king c5, and now there's no rook f5.
Yeah, but if I play rook c6 after king e6, queen e6.
Queen e6 here.
Rook c6. You could queen e3. Yeah, it's wow, amazing.
And there's some crazy perpetual here.
Yeah, but okay, if she will find it, I'm agree for a draw.
No, but rook f3 to find two moves down, like down from this position is nothing short of crazy.
Yeah, queen g5, and after bishop e5, I calculate everything.
Beautiful, bishop e4, super critical, and suddenly your rook is extremely happy.
I'm interesting after rook h3. Can I play queen e1? I think yes, but I just
queen e1 was the most critical. Was a little bit cleaner.
Yes,
but the endgame is super winning anyways. Yeah.
Super winning, so I just don't want to calculate queen e1.
So queen e1 just. But actually, for the viewers, how much more concrete is this?
I thought like if white will play rook b3, I just can play queen g1, king g3 or h3, and rook c2, and after d7, king d7, she don't have queen d4. I exchange and take on g2, but I thought the endgame is much easier.
Yeah. But anyways, diluting is the safest, and you get some rook h1, and suddenly you force this queen trade into a winning endgame.
Yeah.
Very, very nice game. I've realized from your plays, very exciting games, do you like playing chess most when you get these exciting positions?
Yeah, sure, but also it feels risky at some moment, especially when you're thinking more than 20 minutes and don't like your position at all.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. This is a big upset for the tournament. You're beating the #1 seed, so this is a huge win for you, and you're sprouting to the top of the standings.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to open up the questions briefly to the floor. If anyone has a question, please raise your hand.
Bibisara, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I know that's something pretty common with you these days. I'm Jafar from Prime Chess. Most chess players never really reach the level of success you've had in your career. And to all your supporters back in Kazakhstan and around the world, what does it mean for you to represent your country on the world stage, and what exactly did it take for you to get here?
Yeah, it feels amazing, and I think for my country it's a big step in chess because never Kazakhstan participating in the FIDE Candidates women or men's tournament, and I think a lot of children will starting playing chess, and we have more talented players, and also this year we have Olympiads, so I think it's very, very good for our country. Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the floor? Okay. Thank you so much, Bibisara. Excellent press conference. Have a great day and best of luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Cheers. Welcome to round 3 press conference of the FIDE Candidates 2026 from Cap St. George's Hotel and Resort.